Hi students, it's teacher Larissa here, and this video is a review for your upcoming exams, okay? So you guys studied units 1 to 3, and that's what we are going to review today. We're going to review all the topics that you guys studied in those units. So we will start with unit 1, in which you guys learned about greeting people. So one of the ways to greet people and the most common way of greeting someone whom you are meeting for the first time or when you are starting a conversation, you say hello. It's the simplest form of greeting someone. So hello is suitable for all situations, including formal situations. Okay, so what is a formal situation? A work meeting, a job interview, talking to your boss, that's a formal situation, so you can say hello. And there is also another use for hello. We say hello when we are answering the phone. It can be your boss calling, a friend, family. We always say hello, so it's the common way to pick up the phone, okay, to answer the phone is by saying hello. So you guys also learned another type of greeting, which is saying hi. Differently from hello, we say hi in informal situations. That is, we say hi when we are talking to our family. We say hi when we're talking to our friends. We don't usually say hi in formal situations. For instance, when we are talking to a boss or when we are going to do a job interview, we don't say hi. Another way of greeting people, there are different ways you guys can say hello or hi. And these ways are, the first one is saying good morning. If we say good morning when it's morning, it's a way of substituting the word hello. We don't have to say hello if we say good morning. If it's the afternoon, we say good afternoon. And we don't have to say hello here either. And if it's night, we say good evening. You may notice that we don't say good night, right? But I will explain why in a minute. So we use these expressions especially in formal situations. So if you are going to do a job interview, if you are talking to a boss, if you are in a work meeting, if you are talking to a teacher, we usually use these expressions. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So the opposite of saying hello is saying goodbye. So we say hello when we start a conversation, and when the conversation is ending, we say goodbye. So goodbye is used in formal situations. The structure, goodbye, formal situations. Again, a formal situation would be a work meeting, a job interview. So when it's an informal situation, we say bye or bye-bye. You can choose whichever you want to say. However, bye-bye, we use it mostly with friends and family, but it's okay to use it in informal situations too. So other situations that we say bye, it can be at the grocery store. If you are buying groceries, you say bye to the cashier, right? The person working at the cashier. And we say bye-bye to friends, to family, to friends, or if someone has established that you are in an informal situation. So if you think you're talking to your boss and your boss say bye-bye, you can answer bye-bye to your boss. So another way of saying goodbye is by saying good night. We say good night in formal situations, or if you are going to sleep and you say to someone next to you, you say good night. We don't say good night at the beginning of a conversation. We only use good night at the end of a conversation. So when the conversation is beginning, you can say good evening, but when the conversation is ending, you say good night. So when we are meeting new people, we have different ways of greeting this person, right? We can say hello, we can say good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening. But a standard greeting is, how are you? Saying how are you is becoming very popular actually. So when you see someone, you can say, hi, how are you? Or if you just say, how are you, it is also accepted as a greeting, okay? How are you? When someone asks, how are you? You have different ways, different options to answer the question. But we usually say, I'm good if we are feeling happy, if we're feeling good. But if we're not feeling so good, we say, well, not bad, or I'm fine. These are neutral expressions. Now, if you are meeting someone for the first time in your life, there is a common expression that you can use, which is nice to meet you. We say nice to meet you when meeting someone for the first time, as you see here. We can say nice to meet you in formal situations and in informal situations. So nice to meet you is an expression that can be used in every situation. And when the conversation is ending, there is also something you can say to the person you have just met, which is, you can say, nice meeting you, which means that you appreciated, you liked meeting this person. So if someone says, bye, you can say, it was nice meeting you. But you only say this when you meet someone for the first time. There is no need to say this expression after you start talking to this person many times, okay? So in Unit 1, you guys also learned about names. So the first topic you learned was saying names, how to say a name, how to introduce yourself to someone, how to say your name, your age, things like that, right? So the structure is this one here. Subject pronoun, which is the subject, which can be I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. These are the subjects, right, from the verb to be. So after the subject, you add the to be verb, and finally your name. So here we have a table with examples. In the first one, I'm Jenny. As you guys can see down here, I'm also means I am. It's the contracted version of I am. I'm. So I'm Jenny. The subject is I. The to be verb is am. And the name is Jenny. If we want to say that we are not someone, the structure is basically the same, but we add the word not, the negative not before the name, as we see in the second example. I'm not Carmen. So the subject, the to be verb, the negative word, and the name Carmen. When we want to ask questions about names, we have the structure, the order of the structure changes. So instead of saying the subject first, we say the to be verb first, and then the subject, and then the name. So are you Jenny? Are is the to be verb, you is the subject, and Jenny is the name. And if someone asks this question, you can answer with short answers. Yes, I am, or no, I'm not. Okay? So moving on, we also learned in Unit 1 how to ask and how to give personal information. So how do we ask for information? When we meet someone and we want to know something about them, we use this structure here. Double H question, the to be verb, and the rest of the phrase, right? The noun phrase to ask for information. As we can see here, what is a double H question? A double H question is simply this word here which starts with a double H. What, it can be what, who, where, when. but we will learn about these expressions later. So here is the structure. We start with the double H question, what? The to be verb here is contracted. This apostrophe S, it's contracted, right? As we see down here. What means what is. So the to be verb is. What is your name? Your name is the noun phrase, okay? And the same structure we see here. The double H question, what? The to be verb is. And the rest of the phrase, your email address. What, the verb, to be verb, and the rest of the phrase. And this is how we answer. If someone asks, what's your name? You say, my name is, and then you add your name. My name is Victor Lopez. My name is Teacher Larissa. Okay? If someone asks your email address, you say, it's, and then you say your email address. You can also say, my email address is. But that phrase is too long, and you can shorten it to it. The person who is asking will also understand if you just say it.
In Unit 1, you guys also learned something that is very important, which is, how about you? We use this structure as a conversation strategy. This is a way of asking people for information, okay? So we use this expression, how about you, after we answer one question and we want to ask the person the same question. For instance, if someone asks you where you are from, you answer where you are from, and then you can ask them, how about you, to know where they are from, okay? So here we have an example. If someone says, do you live in Fortaleza? You would answer, yes, I do. How about you? When she says, how about you, she wants to know, do you live in where do you live? Okay? That's what she wants to know. Where do you live? So another way of using how about you is when we make a statement. We are talking about something, and we say, and we add how about you to ask the other person similar information. For instance, in the example, I live in Fortaleza. How about you? And someone would answer, I live in Fortaleza too. Here, nobody had to ask a question first. She just made a statement. She stated that she lived in Fortaleza, and she wanted to ask a similar question to the other person. So she asked, how about you? It's the same way of asking, where do you live? So the girl answers, I live in Fortaleza too. When we're talking, we use everyday expressions. These everyday expressions are, as its name suggests, they are expressions that we use every day. They are very common in English. So some of them are more formal than others, as we can see here in the table. If we're talking to someone, for instance, if you were talking to your boss, or if you were talking to someone that you don't know very well, so it's a formal situation. So in a formal situation, we would say yes, but in a less formal or informal situation, we can say yeah. A less formal situation would be when we are talking with friends, when talking to family, okay? So it's an informal situation. In a formal, you would say yes. In an informal, you can say yeah. Another expression here, we have thank you. When it's a formal situation, we say thank you. But when the situation is not so formal, we can say thanks. Here we already saw this one. Hello for formal situations, and hi for informal situations. How are you for formal situations. And when we're talking to friends or family, we can just say, how are you doing? Okay? But you cannot say this expression, how are you doing, when you're talking to your boss or to someone that is, your superior, or when you don't know someone very well, you just say, how are you? So if someone asks you, how are you? You will say, I'm fine. When talking to someone who you don't know very well in a formal situation, you say, I'm fine. But if the situation is not formal, you can just answer, I'm okay, or I'm pretty good, or I'm good. It's just simple. You can say, I'm okay, I'm good, but in a formal situation, you would say, I'm fine. And we already saw this last one here, goodbye, which we use in formal situations, and bye that we use in informal situations, less formal situations. We can say bye, we can say bye-bye as we have seen. We can say see you or see you later. If you know that you are going to see someone again, you can say see you later. And now moving on to Unit 2. We started in Unit 2, you guys learned about classmates and things related to the classroom. So when we are talking about location, about a place, we use some expressions, and these expressions are usually at, as we see here, at or in, when we're talking about locations. Let's see the example. This woman, she is at home. She is at her house. And these kids, they are in class. They are at school, but they are in class. You can also be in the library. You can be studying in the library, reading a book in the library. But you can also be eating a snack in the cafeteria. You can be just like these two people here. You can be talking to friends in the cafeteria, okay? So you guys have seen in and at. So in Unit 1, we learned how to come up with, how to ask information and how to give information using 3 different subjects, which were I, we, and you. Now we're going to see how do we give and ask information using the subjects he, she, and they. So the structure is basically the same. It's the subject pronoun, the to be verb, and the phrase. So let's review the to be verb with all of the subjects that we have seen so far. So first of all, we have I. What is the to be verb for I? It's am. I am. The second subject pronoun is you. You are. This column here are the to be verbs. The third subject pronoun is he, she, or it. He we use for men, she we use for women, and it we use when we are talking about objects, feelings, and animals, okay? We don't use it to talk about people. So he, she, it is. Now we have the fourth subject pronoun, which is also the first subject pronoun of the plural form. So we are, you are, they are. So you guys see that the last 3 subjects, the plural subjects, they all use this verb to be. Is the same, it's are. And it is also seen here, you are, but as you guys can see, this expression you are and this here you are, they are the same. So it will depend on the context of the conversation. You will know what is if you're talking about the singular or the plural subject, depending on the conversation, on the context. So we use this structure to talk about others. We use the subject pronouns I, we to talk about ourselves and other people that are with us. But when we're talking about other people, we use this structure here. Subject pronoun, which will be, as we see in here, subject pronoun to talk about others. It will be he, she, it, you, and they. The structure is the same. Subject pronoun to be verb plus the rest of the phrase. Let's see here the table. We are talking about someone else. So we say June. June is a he. So what is the to be verb for he? He is. He is at work. As we saw a while ago, at, the expression for location. He is at work. As you see here, John is at work. He's at work. And his is the contracted form of he is. We just say he's. He's at work. Laura sick. Laura is sick. Laura is a she, so she is sick. Kim and Fong are late. They are late. Why do we use the subject pronoun they? Because we are referring to other people. It's two other people and we are not included in the middle. So we use they. If we say my cousins, my family, we say they because it's other people and I am not in the I am not in the situation. So we say they. When we are using the negative form, it's just like the other table that we saw. The only thing that changes is that we add the negative word not after the verb be. So June is not here. Laura's not in class. Kim and Fong are not here. Are because the to be verb for they, it's are. They're not here. And when we ask questions, it's the same structure, but we change the order. So the verb be, it comes to the beginning of the phrase. Is John here? It swaps locations with the subject pronoun. So the subject pronoun comes to the second position and the verb be goes to the first position. So is June here? We have here the verb be, the subject, and the rest of the phrase. And when we have these yes or no questions, we just give short answers. Is June here? We can just say yes he is or no he's not. We don't have to say anything more than that. Another important topic that you guys studied in Unit 2 was what's in your bag, and you learned vocabulary related to things that we bring to school in our bag. What is it that we need in school? In school, we need a pencil. In school, we need a book. In school, we need a pen. And we need a notebook. And to bring all of these things to class, we need a bag. You can call this item here a bag, but you can also say a school bag or a backpack, okay? So, there is also the eraser that we need at school. These are all items that we need to bring to class. So this vocabulary is very important. When we're talking about things, we usually use articles. Articles, there are different types of articles, but we are going to study the indefinite articles. The indefinite articles a and an are a type of determiner. So we use a before consonant sounds. What are the consonants? The consonants we have B, C, D, F, G, H, right? They're the consonants. Just like in our native language Portuguese, the consonants are the same. And we use a in a pencil. You can say a pencil, you can say a pencil. It will depend on how you want to pronounce it. So a pencil, because pencil starts with a P sound. It's a consonant sound, right? And we use an before vowel sounds. What are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U, right? The 5 vowels. Here we go. And umbrella, because we start with a vowel sound. The U sound, it's an umbrella. These two, they mean the same thing. They represent one thing. A is one thing. I am talking about one pencil. I am talking about one umbrella. And they mean the same thing. The only difference is that one is used before consonant sounds and the other is used before vowel sounds. Another type of article of determiner that we can use are this and these. We use this and these to refer to things and to people that are close to us. For instance, this phone is close to me, so I will call it this phone. But if the phone was far away from me, I would say that phone, right? I am referring to the phone, and the determiner will depend on the distance. If it's close to you, it will be this, and if it's far from you, it will be that. The difference between this and these I will explain now. So this is one thing. We use the word this when we are talking about one thing. It's one phone. It's not two phones. It's one. So one thing, right? And the verb be for the singular. So this is, and then you say the thing. You can say this is a pencil, right? So this is a video game because it's only one video game. It's a PS4, if you guys know it. So this is a video game. It's one video game. But if I have more than one thing, if I had two phones, if I had two cars, I would say these. These is the plural form. And so the to be verb is are. These are two or more things. I can talk about as many things as I want, but if it's two or more, I will use these are. So the example we have, these are my keys. I have two keys, so it's my keys. These are my keys. It's plural. Here in this table, we have examples of how to make statements using this and these, and how to ask questions using these determiners. So this is an MP3 player. I have one MP3 player, so it's this is. And we use and here because this word starts with a consonant sound. When we're asking questions to know about what is something, we say, what is this? What's this? And we answer with it is an MP3 player, or it's an MP3 player. And if you are asking a question, it's the same structure as the it's given information. So the verb to be, it comes to the beginning of the phrase, and the determiner this, it switches positions and goes to the second place in a phrase. So is this your watch? So, and when we have these yes or no questions, we just answer yes it is or no it's not. And it's the same thing with the plural. So these are sunglasses. The question is the same. What are these? And the answer, they are sunglasses. And the question structure is the same. You put the to be verb at the beginning, and here you will put the determiner. So are these your keys? And you can give short answers. Yes, they are, or no, they're not. So when we have started talking about plural words, right? So when we're talking about the plural, we have rules. How to make a singular word go to plural, have its plural form. So in this table, it's all explained. Most words, all you have to do is add an s at the end. So bag would be bags. Key would be keys. Phone would become phones. Just an s at the end. But if the word ends in s or ss, sh, ch, x, or z, we will add es at the end. So a class ends with two s's. So we will be saying classes. It's just like sunglasses. It ends with es. Nouns that end in the letter O, we have to add s for some words, and some other words will need es at the end. So a piano becomes two pianos, but one tomato becomes two tomatoes. You see that it has the es and this one only has the s. Nouns that end in consonants or that ends in y, we will change the y to the letter I, and we will add the es termination. So a library ends with y. We will erase this I and put an IES, libraries. And nouns, guys, nouns are words, okay? So nouns that end in a vowel and a y, for instance, key, we just add the s at the end, so keys, okay? There's no need to exclude the y and put IES. You just add the s at the end. So key becomes keys because it ends in y, and before the letter y we have a vowel. Here in library we have the y, but before the letter y we have a consonant, right? So the thing is, most nouns, they are just follow these rules, so you have to change the termination. But other words, they have irregular forms. For instance, the word man, it doesn't become men's, it becomes men with a e. You just take this a off and you put an e. Man becomes men, right? If it was woman, it wouldn't become woman's, it becomes women, okay? And person, I am a person, but if there's more than one person, we say people. So many words have different forms. And then there are the nouns that only have plural form. They don't exist in singular form. For instance, we don't have to remove this e and this s. We don't have to remove the s in jeans. And we don't have to remove the s in scissors. They are plural words all the time. So I wear glasses. I am wearing a pair of jeans. I will buy scissors. It's just one item, but it is said in a plural form. So moving on, we have talked about the items that we bring to class. But what about the items that are already in the classroom? For instance, we have the board. A board, because it's one thing and it starts with a consonant sound. So we say a board. What else we have in the classroom? We have some chairs, right? So it's more than one. That's why it's plural with the s. And some because it's a small quantity, right? It's not one, it's more than one. We also have a teacher, right? A desk here, a world map. It's the map here. There is a book. There are some pages, and there is a board, right? So we use the word some when we're talking about small quantities of things But also people, we can say some people. So as we saw here, we had some chairs. It's a small quantity. It's just two, so some chairs. For instance, another example with chairs, we have here some chairs, and here we have some desks. It's a small quantity, okay? But you can say some instead of counting and saying 6, 9 desks, 3 chairs. You just say some chairs and some desks. So when we were talking about the items that we bring to class, we learned 2 indefinite articles, which were a and an, right? A and an, however you want to say it. So now we're going to learn about the definite article, which is the. So we use the definite article the to refer to things that we know about. For instance, if we know where something is, we can just say it is in the, let's say that there are, here the example. We know where the clock is, right? We can see the clock. We know where it is. So we say the clock is on the wall, right? So this is very simple. It's just like in Portuguese, we use articles. So the clock is on the wall. If we know that our clothes are inside the wardrobe, inside the closet, we just say the clothes are inside the closet, because we know what are clothes, we know what is a closet, and we know where the clothes are. They are inside the closet. When we're talking about location, we ask questions with this word here, this double H word, where. So we learned what to ask questions, right? And now we're going to talk about where. What is when we want information, and where we use when we want to know about locations. So we use where to ask about the location of things or people. For instance, where's, right here is the contraction, means where is. Where's Mario's homework? Where's the teacher's coat? Where are the students' papers? So we have where is here because we are talking about one thing. It's the homework. It's one homework. Here we're saying where is. We use the verb in a singular because it's also one thing. It's one coat. But here we have where are. Are is the to be verb in a plural, right? So this is used here. We use are because we're talking about papers. It's in the plural, so it's more than one paper. And when we're going to ask these questions, if someone asks, where is something? We answer, it is, and then we say where it is. But here is the contracted form. So where's Mario's homework? It's on the floor. Where's the teacher's coat? It's on the desk. Where are the students' papers? They are, or they're on the floor. So you see that the answer, it will depend on the item, on the question. So here they are asking about the location of a thing. That is why the answer has it. But if someone asked you the location of a person, if someone asked, where is Mario? You would answer, he is at school, because we use he because we're talking about a person, a man, right? So Mario's homework, as you guys can see here, we have here illustrated the position of the apostrophe. So the apostrophe here is before the letter S, and in the second example it is also before the letter S, but in the third example it is after the letter S. And why is that? We will learn now. We have the possessive S and S. They look the same, but the difference is the location of the apostrophe. So here it is before, it's before the letter S, and here it is after the letter S. So we use these possessive S's to talk about possession. If someone belongs to you, it's yours, you will use this possessive S. So for one item or more items belonging to one person, we use apostrophe S, right? The apostrophe is before the letter S. So the student's glasses. It's one student that owns the glasses. The student's glasses. That is why we have the apostrophe before the S. But if the item belongs to more than one person, if it belongs to two or more people, we use S before the apostrophe. The apostrophe comes after the letter S. So the students are more, it's two or more students, so it's plural. And what is the plural form? And when we want to when we want the plural form of a word, we add the letter S at the end, right? So a student becomes students. And because the S is already here, we just add the apostrophe. So there's no need to add another S. So the students' books. More than one student own the books, right? In Unit 2, we also learned something very important. We ask for information, sure, but we also need to know how to ask for help. In class especially. What if you don't understand something? What if you don't hear something? So you need to know how to ask for these things, this information in class. The first thing that we can ask for is ask for a word in English. Maybe you don't know a word. Maybe you forgot a word. So you would ask, what's the word for this in English? If you don't know something, you say, what's the word for this in English? Okay? So, what is the word for this thing in English? And then someone would answer, pen. You don't have to say, the word is pen. You just say, pen. Okay? Now, another thing that you can ask for is ask to borrow an item. Let's say that you go to school and you forgot to bring your notebook. You forgot to bring a pen. So you will ask for your friend if they can lend you a pen, if you can borrow their pen. So if you don't know how to ask for an item, you say, can I borrow a, and then you say the name of the item. Let's say you need a paper to write on. So you say, can I borrow a piece of paper? Can I borrow a pencil? Can I borrow a pen? Can I borrow an eraser? So, can I borrow a pen? And someone will say, sure. And if someone asks you if they can borrow something, you just say, sure. And you hand them. But if you don't have one, then you say, sorry, I don't have one, okay? Now, if you didn't listen to what your teacher said, the teacher gave information but you didn't hear it and you need them to repeat what they said. So you are asking for repetition. If you don't know how to do that, you just say, can you repeat that please? If I were talking to you in a synchronous class, in a live class, and you didn't understand what I said, you would say, can you repeat that please? Let's see the example here. Open your books on page 4. The teacher would say this, open your books on page 4. But you didn't hear, so you said, can you repeat that please? And the teacher would answer, sure, page 4. So then you would open your book on page 4. It's that simple. Just, can you repeat that please? It's very polite. The common expressions when asking for help are these ones. We use them to answer when someone says thank you or when someone says I'm sorry. Here are the expressions. If someone says thank you, you can say you're welcome. Or if it's an informal situation, if you're talking to a friend or to family, they will say thanks and you just say sure. If someone says I'm sorry, you can say that's okay. It's no problem. That's okay. Or I'm sorry. I don't know. If you ask for information but the person doesn't know the answer, you just say, they will say, I'm sorry, I don't know. And you can say, that's okay. Thanks anyway. We say thanks anyway just to be polite. If someone doesn't have the answer, we say, okay, thanks anyway, okay? It's the same as saying thank you for the effort. Thank you for trying, okay? Thanks anyway. And now we will move on to Unit 3. It's the unit that you guys started to learn how to talk about celebrities, how to talk about people that you know. So, this guy right here, he is a singer. This woman right here, she is a soccer player. And these guys in the picture right at the end, they are actors. So these words, we use them to talk about celebrities. It's the profession of a celebrity. Celebrities can be singers, they can be soccer players, they can be actors, they can be writers, and they can be digital influencers, right? So, when we are talking about celebrities, if you want to say that you are a fan of someone, let's say that here in this picture, you are a fan of this guy. His name is Harry Styles. If you're a fan of Harry Styles, you would use this structure here to indicate that you are a fan of his, that he is your idol. You would use the structure to be verb plus the possessive adjective. Let's see what are these possessive adjectives. If you are talking about yourself in the first person, it's I am, right? So I am, it's also my. I am a fan of Harry Styles. You can say my idol is Harry Styles. In the second person, we have you are. A possessive adjective for you are is your. This is your phone. This is your pencil. It belongs to someone else, right? When we're talking about he, she, it is, it becomes his, her, or its. His is for a man, so it's his phone or it's her phone if it belongs to a woman. But if it's something that belongs to a thing or to an animal, we say it. We are. The possessive adjective is our. This is our school. This is our house. It belongs to me and to someone else. So me and someone else, we are we. And something that belongs to us is our. It's our house, our friends, our family. Now you are, it becomes your. That is your house. That is your teacher. Belongs to another person. And lastly, we have they are. When we say they are, we use their. That is their house. It belongs to two people. They're not me. So it's their. Here we have a table with the examples. I am or I'm a Sean Penn fan. Sean Penn is an actor. So I'm a Sean Penn fan. And if we change this and use a possessive adjective, it would become my favorite actor is Sean Penn. My, because I'm talking about this to be verb here. This pronoun I am becomes my. You are or you're a tennis fan. It becomes your favorite sport is tennis. He's an actor. His new movie is great. The movie. This guy here did the movie, so it's his movie. Now, she is a famous singer. Her voice is amazing. The voice, it belongs to her. It's a woman, so she becomes her. Her voice. And we are, or we're Giants fans. Giants is a sports team. So we're Giants fans becomes our, because it's me and someone else, favorite team is the Giants. And lastly we have they are tennis players. Their matches. A match is, as we would say in Portuguese, a game. A match of tennis. A tennis match. You know, it's when we go watch a competition. We can watch a soccer match, a football match, a volleyball match, basketball match, okay? So, because the subject pronoun is they, the possessive adjective is their. Now, if we are going to talk about people, we are going to describe them. We're going to use adjectives, right? So, we use adjectives to describe things, people, and feelings. The structure to talk about, to use an adjective to describe someone, it's this one. Noun plus the to be verb plus the adjective. Let's see the example. The boy is happy. What is the noun here? It's the boy. The boy. What is the to be verb? Is. Because we are talking about a man. So he is happy. Happy is the adjective. This word happy is describing the way that this boy is. He is happy. Now, the girl is beautiful. The girl is the noun, is the to be verb, and beautiful is the adjective that is describing this girl. She's a beautiful girl. When we are talking about people, we can use the words very and the word really before the adjective. Why do we use them? We use them to emphasize an adjective, to make the adjective stronger. So let's see the example. The boy is very happy. He is not just happy, he is very happy. The girl is really beautiful. She's not just beautiful, she's really beautiful. She's more beautiful than other girls. She's really beautiful. So we use these words to make adjectives stronger. When we're talking about the people that we know, let's think about those people. Who do we know? We know our best friend. We know our neighbor. Neighbor is the person that lives next to our house. So we know our neighbor. And we know co-worker. Co-worker are people that work at the same place that we work. We are co-workers. So how do we describe the people that we know? We can use adjectives and the words very and really, just like we studied. We also use these adjectives to describe the people that we know. We don't use adjectives just to describe celebrities or people that we don't know. We also use them to describe our family, our friends, to describe ourselves. So here we have a series of examples. So my father is tall. He is tall. My father is the noun, is the to be verb, and tall is the adjective. You see that the structure is the same. It's noun plus to be verb plus adjective. Here we have my mother is pretty. Mother is the noun, is the to be verb, and pretty is the adjective. My sister is funny. Sister is the noun, is the to be verb, and funny is the adjective. But as I said, we can also use these adjectives to talk about ourselves. So I am smart. I is the noun, right? The pronoun. Am is the verb, the to be verb, and smart is the subject. I'm smart. I can describe myself using adjectives. So, still on the people that we know. When we are talking about about adjectives, we can ask questions, right? So, am I late? Am I late? The structure is the same as the other questions. The to be verb, it moves to the beginning of the phrase, and the subject goes here. It becomes the second word. So, am I late? Late is an adjective. And how we would answer if someone asks, am I late? You can answer, yes, you are, or no, you're not. Or you can say, you are not late. Okay? Or if you want to use a negative sentence, to say a negative sentence, you just add the negative word, not. The same here. Are you busy? To be verb, pronoun, and adjective. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And if you want to say no, you will add the word not. I'm not busy. Is he tired? Yes, he is. No, he's not. He is not tired. So you guys get the idea here, right? You just, for questions, the verb to be, the to be verb, comes at the beginning. The pronoun, the subject pronoun, comes at the second position. And lastly, we have the adjective. For questions, and now to answer these questions, it's the same structure. Yes, you are. No, you're not. Just like short answers, right? And the negative form, it's the same form as the statement. Pronoun plus verb be plus adjective, but we add the word not before the adjective. So you're not late. It's before the adjective. Now the other thing that you guys studied on Unit 3 was numbers. And there are many numbers. Starting at 10, we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 101, 102, and so on. So, when we're talking about numbers, we have to pay attention to the pronunciation. Numbers that end in 0, for instance, 10, right? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. We will put the stress we will emphasize the first syllable. So here in 30, we will say 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. You see the final word here, the T and Y, T, we don't pronounce it as strongly as the first syllable. 30, 40, 50. See? But if the numbers end in teen, as we see here, 13, 14, 15, right? From 13 to 19, the stress is in the last syllable. So it's in the teen. The teen is the stress, as we see here. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's important that you guys put the stress in the correct syllable, because if you pronounce it wrong, you may be saying a different number. Let's say that you want to say 13, but you say 30. Someone can think that you said 30, but you didn't. You said 13 and you pronounced it wrong. And the same way around, if you want to say 30, but you say 30, someone can think that you said 13. Okay, so you have to put the stress, the pronunciation, in the correct syllable. And now, to talk about families, we need to talk about the members of our family. So our family members. Let's see who we have here. We have here the grandmother, the grandma, and the grandfather, the grandpa. Who are our grandparents? Our grandparents, they are the parents, right, of our parents. For instance, my grandmother is the mother of my mother. My grandfather is the father of my mother, or the father of my father. And my parents are my mother and my father, right? So this is very simple. You guys can just check this chart that is in your book, right? So you guys can check the chart and make sure that you understand who is who. Who is the grandmother? Who is the mother? Who is the daughter? Who is the sister? Who's the brother, right? So, when we are asking questions about family, we use the double age questions, which I said were what, where, when, what, when, where, who, and how. How doesn't start with double H, but it's also double H question. If we want to know how someone is, we say, how are you? Where are you from? We use where are you from to talk about location, places. How old are you? I want to know your age. I'm 23. I'm 18. I'm 20. Just say your age. Now, if we are talking about someone else, if we want to know information about someone else, we use he, she, it, right? And the verb be is, because he is, she is, it is. So, who is this? It is my grandmother. Where is she from? She is, or she's, from Texas. What's she like? What is she like? She is, or she's, very smart. Now, if we're talking about other people, like parents, not someone that is not in the same location as we are, someone that is not present, we can ask, how are your parents? And we would answer, they are fine. They, because we are talking about the parents. Where are they today? They are, or they're at home? And lastly, what are their names? And then you would answer their names, because the name, we repeat here the question, right? Their names are, because they are, right? So their names are Linda and Carlos. So as you see here, this is what I just said. We also use the structure question word, to be verb, and subject to ask for information. It's what is happening here. It's the question word, how, where, how old, who, and what, right? The question words. The to be verb, how are, is, are, and are. Plus the subject. Where is she from? What is she like? How old are you? Where are you from? How are you? How are your parents? Where are they? What are their names? So these are the subjects, right? So the final topic that we learned in Unit 3 was showing interest, how to show interest during a conversation. How do we do that? A way of showing interest is to repeat the information and ask a question. Remember that we practiced this in class. If someone said, my friend is a singer, you would answer, a singer? Is she talented? So here she repeated the information, right? My friend is a singer. So she repeated a singer and then asked a question. So she asked, is she talented? You see how we show interest? So another way of showing interest and keep the conversation going, keep the conversation flowing, it's to say really. So really is used to show surprise or interest. Let's see the example. My friend is a model. Really? What does she look like? So she said really and then asked the question. You don't always have to ask a question. You can say, really? That's interesting. Okay? You can say that. So guys, this was the review for Units 1, 2, and 3. I will be posting on Classroom the activities, so you guys can do the activities while watching the video. You can watch the video to solve your questions, right? Any questions that you guys may have. So good luck on your exams, and